And preparations are in top gear ahead of the general election in 2023. Parties have already commenced preparations for their primaries. The People's Democratic Party has described as outrageous the 100 million naira price tag for obtaining a presidential form of the All Progressives Congress. But the APC says it was necessary as it will make the primary election less chaotic, as well as determining the seriousness of the aspirants. TVC News senior political correspondent Ayozelu Ogzubako has details.
Rising from the meeting of key stakeholders in the party, the All Progressive Congress APC announced the sale of nomination forms for various elective positions in the country. The party's National Executive Committee approved 100 million as a cost for presidential nomination forms. Governorship form was pegged at 50 million naira, while the Senate was pegged at 20 million naira. The House of Representatives 10 million naira, while the State House of Assembly aspirants would purchase theirs at 2 million naira.
Yeah, definitely.
This expectedly elicited reactions from various quarters who questioned the rationale behind this. Recall that in 2014, the cost of nomination form for presidency was pegged at 27 million naira, while in 2018, presidential nomination form was sold at 45 million naira. The chieftain of the All Progressive Congress believes the decision was to ensure serious-minded people came out to contest for elective positions, as the country is in dire need of a leader that understands the polity. But the opposition People's Democratic Party says it is outrageous.
Many of them, everybody wants to be president of Nigeria. The stakes will go up. You have to raise the stake to chase the mediocres away, small boys.
But when you're talking about 100 million, that means you are going out of the range of reality. You understand? And that's the difference between PDP and APC.
The high costs has been condemned by many Nigerians on social media, who argue that it will prevent youths and disadvantaged groups from running for office. The APC is insisting that this would create opportunity for growth and expansion in democracy, and other fringe political parties were likely to benefit from it.
The 100 million is to weed the shafts, from the main harvest.
Would you say a professor of law or a professor of geology or zoology in University of Lagos that can't afford a form for 50 million naira is not serious-minded? Under this economic situation that the APC has drowned us in, you understand, is not a serious-minded person?
So far, about 9 persons have indicated interest in the highest seat in the land from the All Progressive Congress. May 30th will be the day of reckoning, as all aspirants of the All Progressive Congress will slug it out for an opportunity to become the party's flag bearer for the 2023 general elections. Ayodele Ogzubako, TVC News, Lagos.
Now let's talk to former chairman of the APC in Lagos, Henry Ajumale, for more on this development. The APC has now released its primary elections timetable. We also know how much each aspirant will pay for the nomination form. However, the party's publicity secretary did mention that APC is yet to decide on zoning and mode of primaries. Just how important are this information, and how long more can the party hold on its decision? We'll get back to Mr. Ajumale shortly in the course of this conversation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for inviting me.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
get
you for
back to that
inviting me.
interview.
I think the amount of money that was earmarked for various positions in the party was deliberate. It was deliberate because a lot of people are vying for that position, those who are serious, those who are not serious. And then it's not easy for several people to collect forms, those who are not serious. But when they peg it to that amount of money, not that the party actually needed that money, but they wanted to do it to rob off those who are not serious in wasting the time of the party. So for us, I believe that it was a good thing, and then we will now be able to separate the boys from the young ones. To us, the main thing is for us to find out the best among the best. Those who are serious will certainly take the form. Those who are not will be discouraged with that.
Let's return now to former APC chairman and Lagos, Harry Ajimole. You mentioned earlier about how the price tag on the APC's presidential nomination form is to separate those who are serious from those who are not. What about the concern about building up on what appears to be an already expensive election system? The new Electoral Act, for instance, has increased the number of the amount of spending to some 5 billion. There are already over about 10 aspirants in the APC. If all of them gets a form, that's close to ₦1 billion naira. Isn't your party close to overspending beyond the provisions of the Electoral Act?
But that amount of money is not too much, because it's part of those expenses that we incurred the party by arranging for the venue, transportation of delegates, and other things. So it's still going to be far more than that. When you look at the money, it may be huge, but it is not enough for preparation for the primaries or the convention, choose the presidential candidate. So you cannot equate it from the huge amount that you think to the expenses that is going to be incurred during the convention. So it's just a small fry in the total amount of money that can be necessary to do the convention. So I don't think it's too much for those who are serious. Especially, you find out that PDP having about 17 people on the team, APC is having only about 10. And those 10, I don't even know whether those 10 are going to collect the form. So wait and see what is going to. Starting calculating now may not be right until the form is chosen.
From APC Chairman Lagos, Harry Ajimole, thank you for talking to us tonight.